How you going, people? Happy Veterans Day. Horses are like, Dad, don't be yelling at us. Great day in Texas. I think I'm in this video, maybe a little, yeah, maybe it's a little high. That's all right. I'll bring it down a little bit. I was trying to get the flag in there, but I guess you can see the flag. It's not windy. It's not blowing that much. So, Veterans Day today. I guess, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Veterans Day most people know it's like to thank the vets, to all the vets out there who have, you know, sacrificed, given up. Look, I don't think all cops are heroes. I don't think all firemen are heroes. I don't think all vets are heroes. It's a job. We served our country, and it is what it is. We got paid to do a job. Yeah, the sacrifices kind of suck. If you're over there in the shit areas and you're away from your families, you miss holidays, you're deployed a lot, you're on exercises, you're on, you know, whatever the hell happens out there. So, to me, Veterans Day is basically a time to remember that this great country had a lot of people sacrifice, and not only vets, but our founding fathers. I know the left, the liberal hating left that wants to say how bad America is and how bad the founders are and how everything, we've screwed up the whole world and we're just a horrible country. And they're going to transform us and make us better because they have all the answers on 18 bathrooms and who's good and who's bad and who's all the mean people are. So our founders, dude, they were rich, they had land, they had life made. They didn't need any of the headache. And they gave all that up, put their necks on the line. They became hunted. They were called traitors. They would have been hung for treason by the redcoats. And they did all that because they said, man, we're being overrun by a tyrannical government. They're just coming to our house and, you know, seeking shelter. They could just come in and you'd have to let them take over your house. You'd have to feed them. They didn't have to pay for anything. They were a tyrannical government. And a lot of people think, you know, our independence came because of a tea tax. That was kind of the tip of the iceberg. A lot of people forget the Stamp Act. The Stamp Act was a huge overreach by the redcoats coming in to where everything in your house had to have a stamp saying that you paid the redcoats for what you had. That way they wanted to cut down on the black market. They wanted to cut down on those pesky citizens who were trying to keep their money and not give the government their cut. Kind of sounds like today, right? I mean, back then, if you violated the Stamp Act, redcoats could come in your house anytime without a warrant, search any of your property, and see that, oh, you don't have a stamp on that, therefore you didn't pay taxes. They could either seize that, they could rape your wife, they could make you feed them, they could stay for a week, they could collect, I mean, they could do whatever they wanted. That was really a tyrannical government. Now, we have a much kinder government, right? Our government taxes the shit out of you. You can't even make money without them taking their cut. They didn't have to pass a Stamp Act to where they can come in and see if you have a stamp. Now they take it on the front end. You can't earn money without them taking their cut. You can't buy something without them taking a cut. You can't drive on their roads without them taking a cut. You got to register your vehicle. You got to pay for a license. You got to pay gas tax if you want to get gas to drive your truck. When you buy a truck, you have to pay tax on that. You can't do anything. So we are in a much more tyrannical state. The only thing we have is a perception of some freedoms, and we do. I mean, the redcoats didn't want us having these, and they tried to take these from us. And our government is trying to take it. Why? Because an armed society is a polite society. Because they know that when people have guns, they can fight back against the government, and when only government has guns, the pesky citizens can't fight back. And anybody that thinks it's going to get better when you can't fight back to a bully, and when the bully has all the power, and you think somehow it's going to be better, well, then you're just a freaking liberal or an idiot. Both one and the same. So Today, this day is remembering the vets they gave up, but our founders gave up huge amount of things to start this country, and they gave us the greatest gift in the world. No other. Why do you think people are hoarding to get here and fighting and risking their life to cross the border illegally and pay thousands of dollars to cheat and lie and to get here and to sneak here? Why do you think that? Do you think people? All right, let's just do a little Black Lives Matter trivia question here. How many Black Lives Matter are fighting to sneak into Africa? Raise your hand. That would be 0. Okay? There's a reason that people want to come here, and that's why when people are here and they're freaking crying and they're kneeling when a flag comes up or our national anthem and they talk shit about this country, that's what really just drives me nuts. Not even as a vet, but as an American. Even if you're not a vet, you should be offended. But, you know, it is what it is. We'll see how it runs out. We've lost so much, and again, you know, and I go back to where I was in the Philippines, and these kids didn't have any shoes, and we'd look at them, and they'd run around barefoot in the mud and rocks, and none of them had shoes, and they were happy, and they were playing soccer, and they were laughing, because they just didn't know what they didn't have. To them, not having shoes was normal. And when you're living in that condition and it becomes normal, you don't really know what you've lost. See, Americans who have seen this country and know what it took to get in the freedoms and how great we were, understand what we're losing, and we're watching it just get diluted and washed away by liberal, left-wing, open borders. We just need more taxes. We need more government to protect you. We need to get the guns so we can keep you safe. We need more of your hard work so we can be better. And there's people that buy into that philosophy. And to be honest, I think Veterans Day was probably, it was enacted by the politicians back in 1918 at the end of the war, War I, and it was like to respect for veterans so people would remember them. And it's on November 11th. Actually, the war, I think, ended on an armistice earlier, but I think November 11th was like the official day of World War I, even though they stopped fighting before that. So, even back then, the politicians were all, oh yeah, we're going to take care of our vets. Now, I believe the politicians back then had a different mindset. Most of them were probably vets. It used to be most of our Hollywood people had military experience. It used to be, because we came out of a couple of wars, that most everybody either had a son, daughter, brother, mother, somebody that served, helped, was affected by the war. So there was this camaraderie and this unity because everybody sacrificed. How many people think liberals are out there sacrificing for this great country instead of running around burning, looting, murder and yelling, give us more free shit, we need more government, you founders were bad, you people that like the founders are bad, the Constitution is bad because we can't do what we want to do, that stupid Constitution gets in our way. No shit. That's why the founders put the Constitution in act, to limit government, to stop them from becoming tyrannical, to keep them in, to give the power to the people in order to control government. So when they got out of hand, to give the right to own a firearm in case the government got out of control so you could fight back. So the government couldn't run you over with a tank because you were unarmed. So the government couldn't send in and lock down your streets and put you in jail because you don't wear a mask. That's why the founder said, the first is free speech. The government won't limit the speech, which meaning I can say we have a shit government, we have shit politicians, and we have people that are robbing and stealing this country, destroying it. I can say that because of the First Amendment. And I can say it because if somebody stops me, I can say I don't have to stop because of the Second Amendment. And you idiots out there that keep running around thinking you'll be safe and government will protect you if you give up your guns, you got a hard truth. I'm about to do a video. I was at a GOA meeting in Little Elm. And a matter of fact, that guy from Guns and Gadgets just did a video on that same lady. She sat next to me. I actually gave her one of these cups because I brought some of these cups for my viewers. And she was GOA, she was pro-gun. She was sitting there and she goes, man, I really like that cup. I go, I got a couple in the car, I'll give you one. So I gave her one. And no, I wasn't sleeping. Everybody's going to be like, oh, you're trying to get in her pants. And she's married. She does sing good, though. She got up and sang the national anthem freaking on the fly. a cappella. I was like, damn, you go, girl. So anyway, in that meeting, this Thai woman stood up and talked about how she had to flee her country, how her mother and father were killed, and how she had to be raised by her cousin, and she didn't have anybody. And I mean, she was just a hardcore conservative. She goes, I'm telling you, you people don't realize the same thing was happening in our country, and we just watched it. This suppression of speech, this hate against people that want to push back against conservative values, how they label you, how they silence you, how they make you the enemy. I mean, she just explained it perfectly and how it is. And some politician interrupted her, which I was like, I didn't really like him anyway. And he was a freaking conservative. I didn't even want to vote for his ass. But anyway, I digress. So, look, Veterans Day, I think politicians use this day to put a feather in their cap so they can go, oh yeah, I support the vets, oh yeah, it's great, yeah, thanks guys, and they'll move on. It used to be, when it was enacted, that it was a very day of people, there was parades. There used to be Veterans Day parades. I mean, they would get out, they would have jeeps and tanks and veterans, and, you know, in Gainesville, they usually do a Medal of Honor winner once a year, and all the Medal of Honor winners that are still alive come up there, they put them in a hotel, and they do a parade down the street. And it's a really cool event. If you're anywhere in North Texas when they have it, check it out. Gainesville, Medal of Honor, they do a really great deal, a nice little parade. They actually fly a freaking Vietnam Huey down the middle of Main Street. It's pretty low. For those that heard it, you know that sound, and just, you know, if you've ridden one, you can just feel it when it comes by. But anyway, it's a good deal. But Veterans Day, look, it's a political thing now. Any politician that gets up there and runs his mouth about, oh, I know and I love, he's trying to get the veteran vote. I don't believe any of those pieces of shit, especially if they've been in office more than 2 terms. If you've been in office more than 2 terms, if there's anything that the American people should do, and we can enact it ourselves through the vote, is that if you don't get out in 2 terms, we are not re-electing you. You are gonna freaking lose. So you either get out and you do the right thing and get a good person to take your place so we can vote for them, or we're going to vote your ass out. I am not doing this straight Republican ticket bullshit anymore. I'm not being manipulated by the right saying, oh, this is really critical. You have to vote. We're going to lose this. I don't give a shit if you... I am done with this supporting people who have been in office more than 2 terms. If you've been, and that's Cruz, I like Cruz, but he ain't getting a vote. He's been in for too damn long. McConnell, all the rest of these jerks who have been in, I ain't voting for you anymore. I don't give a shit what you have at the end of your name. If you've got more than 2 terms in office, you're done in my book. You'll never get my vote, period. So don't send me shit, don't call me, and don't ask me. But anyway, and that's the only way. If everybody did that, if there was a grassroots movement that got a bunch of people and said, you're done at 2 terms, and when the people stuck together and kicked these idiots out, we would see a change in probably 10 years, because it would take a few election cycles to get all these old, you owe me, cut deals, I got all these favors, I got all this power because I've been around the longest, I got the most friends, I got the most people that owe me shit, I can trade this for that and put in my pocket, like Biden, 47 years in government office, and they freaking trying to re-elect him. Are you kidding me? So Hillary Clinton, the rest of it, Harry Reid, all those are jerks who stayed in all that time. Kicked their ass out. Did I run my horse off? Sometimes when I get loud, the horse is like, uh-oh, Dad's getting fired up. We better get the hell out of here. Anyway, happy Veterans Day. It is what it is. You know, I mentioned this. I did a horse video on my horses this morning about some horse stuff, and I talked about, I had a buddy who likes to go out on Veterans Day and get the free shit, because there's a lot of businesses that on Veterans Day, Starbucks gives you a free cup of coffee, Applebee's free ribs or whatever, Denny's is free breakfast. So, and he plans his whole day to go get free shit all day. And he's got more money than me. He could buy and sell me. I mean, he's got several retirements from several good jobs, and you know, he's got plenty of money. He doesn't need that, but he just loves to go get his free shit on Veterans Day. And me, I'm the opposite. I don't go get free shit on Veterans Day because I don't need it. There's a lot of vets out there, and I think that's a great thing when businesses do that, and I don't want to take advantage of it. So, you know, and if you go get something and you tell them you're a vet and they give you something free, then leave it for a tip for the waitress or something, but give back. I just never felt right taking free shit like that and going around and, okay, I'm going to go, because this guy's like, okay, I'm going to Starbucks here, I'm going to this Starbucks in the morning, then I'm going to go to Denny's and eat breakfast. At lunch, I'm going to go to Applebee's. For dinner, I'm going to, you know, some other place that gives free stuff, BJ's, whatever the place that gives free stuff. And he plans this whole day, and at the end, he'll go get him a Starbucks again at a different place for a free Star. And I'm just like, dude, that is entirely too much work to take free shit. I'm sorry. But you know what? I guarantee you today, right now, in the morning, he's sitting at Starbucks in California getting his free cup of coffee, enjoying it because it's free. And he's going to be on his way to Denny's for his free freaking breakfast. I guarantee you. I won't say his last name, but Steve, I know you're going to get your free shit today. And you know what? Whatever. You're entitled to it. Knock yourself out. So, Veterans Day, hey, to the vets that served, to the vets that really gave up. You know, I mean, those guys that come back with one arm, one leg, their whole life has changed. PTSD, I mean real PTSD, not the people that just come back and say they have it so they can get free shit. It's just, their lives are changed forever. And, you know, I've always been a big Wounded Warriors supporter and fan. I know they had that one scandal at one point and they were freaking stealing and the money wasn't going, and I was pissed off and I kind of wrote them off for a while. I think they've turned that around. If somebody knows something different in the comments, let me know. But Wounded Warriors is a great little organization. If you can throw a few bucks at them, that's great. I think they do good work and they help the vets that I think really need help. So anyway, happy Veterans Day. Mr. T, you're a good boy. If there was a Veteran Horsey award, Mr. T would get it. Because he's been through some shit. He's had his wars in his day. And our horses have fought. You know, without this country, without horses, we wouldn't have won half our wars. These horses have given a bunch to the building of this country. They built our railroads. They pulled our lumber and trees. I mean, they gave a lot, and I don't think they're giving enough. There should be National Horsey Day in my book. But anyway, hope y'all have a good Veterans Day, and we'll end that there.